What's the most savage instant karma that turned a golden child's tantrum into a nightmare? Story 1. My older brother Jake has been the golden child since birth. I was the responsible but boring younger kid, apparently. When our dad died, my mom invited everyone over for a small family dinner before we met with Dad's lawyer. It was not small. Uncles, cousins, Jake's fiancé, her parents, all there, all treating Jake like the grieving prince. He sat at the head of the table in Dad's old chair, swirling his wine like a CEO, loudly talking about how stressful it's going to be managing Dad's properties and how he might have to quit his job. He doesn't have one. Every time someone brought up me, Mom would say, "Oh, you know Jess doesn't care about money. She's the sensible one." Translation: "You're not getting much." After dinner, Dad's lawyer showed up with a folder and a little USB. We all sat in the living room. Jake was already half drunk and smug. The lawyer starts, "Your father updated his will 4 months ago. He also left a video message, which I'm going to play." Jake instantly interrupts. "We don't need theatrics. Just tell us the numbers, man." Mom snaps. "Jake, let him do his job." He rolls his eyes and mutters, "I'm literally the executor, but okay." The video pops up. There's Dad, in his favorite ugly sweater, looking tired but sharp. "Hey kids," he says. "If you're seeing this, I'm gone. First, Jake, if you're sitting in my chair, get your ass out of it." The room laughs. Jake doesn't. Dad continues, "I had to change this will after some discoveries. Jake, you screamed at your mother over the phone about your inheritance while I was in the room. You said you should get the house because Jess will just waste it on books and cats." Jake immediately explodes. "That's out of context. He always exaggerates. This is manipulative." Dad's recorded voice talks right over his tantrum. "So here's the deal. The house goes to Jess. All rental properties go into a trust managed by Jess to support Mom. Jake, you get the truck and my tools, on one condition. You actually hold down a job for a full year. Jess gets to approve it." Jake goes, silent E. Then red. Then loud. "This is bullshit. You can't just change everything because you got your feelings hurt. I did everything for you. I drove you to chemo. The lawyer quietly says, "Your father recorded that conversation, Jake." He pulls out another sheet. "He also asked me to mention the secret credit card you opened in his name." Mom's head snaps around. "You what?" Jake's face drains. The lawyer continues, almost apologetically. "He found out when the debt collectors called from Vegas. That's why I'm also handing this to the police liaison he spoke to." He lifts a small envelope. Jake goes from rage to panic in about 2 seconds. No, we can work this out, right? Mom? Jess? Tell him you don't want the house. Tell him." Mom stands up. "Get out of your father's chair." He doesn't move. So she grabs his wine glass, still half full, and smashes it into the fireplace. The sharp crack makes everyone jump. "Get out." Jake storms out, saying every cuss word he knows, promising he'll contest everything. The lawyer waits until the front door slams and says, "Fun fact, he can't. He was removed as executor in the updated will." Dad's last line on the video was, "Oh, and Jess, don't let your brother bully you anymore. He's not the king of anything." I didn't cry during the funeral, but I cried then. Story 2. Our company's golden child is Ethan, the owner's 26-year-old son. No qualifications, no portfolio, just a LinkedIn stuffed with buzzwords. He got hired as Director of Innovation and immediately started innovating other people's work into his presentations. For months, he's been taking credit for my team's project, a new internal dashboard. Anytime someone higher up came by, he'd magically appear, lean on someone's cubicle and start with, "Yeah, my dashboard." The final demo day comes. Whole department plus the owner, plus a rep from our biggest client on Zoom. Ethan walks in late with a latte, drops into the head seat, and announces, "Let's show everyone what I've been building with my team." My manager gives me a quick apologetic look. I'm the one actually running the demo. I start walking through the features when the client rep asks a technical question about a bug we'd fixed. Before I can answer, Ethan cuts me off. "What you're asking is about the API queuing. I totally re-architected that last week, so we're good. Right, guys?" He gestures at us like a game show host. Small problem. Last week he was in Miami, posting bottle service pics on Instagram. I say carefully, "Actually, that fix was pushed by..." He slams his hand on the table. "Can you not undercut me in front of a client? I've been busting my ass on this and you're trying to make me look stupid. This is sabotage." Room goes dead quiet. The client rep mutes himself, but we can still see him raise his eyebrows. My manager tries to smooth it over. No one's sabotaging anyone. We just want to be clear about Ethan is full meltdown now. I'm sick of this. Every time I do anything, this team tries to minimize it. Dad, this is what I was talking about. They're ungrateful, lazy, and our IT security lead, Priya, who is usually invisible in these meetings, clears her throat. Sorry to interrupt. She looks straight at the owner. Since we're discussing who did what, we had to run a full audit on the repository last week because of some concerning activity. Instant silence. She continues. We found repeated commit history being altered. Specifically, code written by other employees was being copied into a branch under a different user, then pushed as if it were their original work. We traced the login and IP. Ethan laughs. Are you seriously accusing me? I'm your boss's son. Priya blinks slowly. We're not accusing you. The logs are. She taps her laptop and shares her screen to the big monitor. Up pops the audit trail. Timestamps, IP address, username, Ethan.innovates. Furthermore, she says, the same user deleted error logs the night before the last deployment failure. That's a fireable offense under our IT policy. The owner turns to Ethan. What is this? Ethan's voice goes high and shaky. It's politics, Dad. They're framing me because they hate that I'm successful. You know how jealous people get. Priya, calmly. We also have camera footage of you logging in from the conference room at 11:42 p.m. Same time as the deletions. Ethan's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. HR, who had been a silent box in the corner of the Zoom, unmutes. We're going to need to speak with Ethan separately after this call. For now, I'd recommend he step out. He looks at his father, waiting for rescue. His father just says, very quietly, leave your badge on the table. Ethan starts to have a full-blown tantrum. Red face, shouting that they can't do this, and that he built this company's future. He kicks his chair so hard it topples into the glass wall, making everyone flinch. And the client rep? He unmutes just long enough to say, for what it's worth, I'd prefer to work with the people who actually built the dashboard. 2 weeks later, we get an email. Ethan is pursuing new opportunities. The new director of innovation? Priya. Story 3. My fiancé, Mark, has 2 kids with his ex-wife, Lena, 14-year-old Adam and 9-year-old Ellie. Lena's entire personality is boy mom. Adam is the golden child who can do no wrong and takes after mommy. Ellie is treated like an afterthought unless she's performing on piano for guests. When Mark and I got serious, Lena went nuclear. Suddenly, Mark was dangerous. I was a stranger around her babies, and she filed to restrict his custody. By the time we got to court, her narrative was, Mark is an unstable deadbeat who never shows up. I'm some girl from the internet, and Adam hates being at our house because Mark is abusive. None of this was true, but Lena had coached Adam hard. The judge decides to have both kids speak, separately, in the courtroom with everyone present, not in chambers. Bad call for Lena. Adam struts in first, all fake maturity. Lena squeezes his hand like she's sending him psychic instructions. He sits, raises his chin, and launches into a speech that sounds suspiciously like her emails. My dad is always yelling and ignoring us. He drinks a lot. Mark doesn't drink at all. And his fiancé makes us do all the chores while she sits around. Lena dabs at dry eyes with a tissue. The judge asks, how often does this happen? Adam glances at his mom. Like, every time we're there. Mark's lawyer asks, Adam, do you remember the last time you saw your dad? Adam smirks. Yeah, like a month ago. Mark squeezes my hand. His last weekend with them was 4 days ago. The lawyer nods. And what did you do that weekend? Adam shrugs. I don't remember. It's always the same, him being mean. The lawyer's face stays neutral. No Disneyland? Adam's mask slips for a second. That was before. Before what? He squirms. Before he started being abusive. And when was that Disneyland trip? Adam stares down at his lap. I don't know. Last year? Mark quietly opens his phone, shows something to his lawyer. She smiles. Your Honor, permission to show the witness a photo? The judge nods. Up on the screen goes a picture from Disneyland. Time-stamped. 4 days ago. Adam's wearing the same hoodie he's wearing in court. He's on Mark's shoulders, grinning, holding a churro, with Lena's least favorite person, me, doing the peace sign next to them. The judge stares. Mr. Adam, this was last weekend. Adam starts to panic. He was still mean. Ellie has been sitting behind us with a guardian ad litem. Suddenly she pipes up, loud enough that the mic picks it up. That's not true. Daddy's not mean. Mommy told you to say that. The entire courtroom freezes. The judge looks at Ellie. Young lady, please step forward. Lena hisses. Ellie, sit down right now. Ellie's lip trembles, but she walks up. Mom said if we said we didn't like Daddy, we wouldn't have to go anymore and Adam could get a car when he turned 16. Lena stands up, screeching. She's confused, Your Honor. This is parental alienation by him. The judge slams his gavel. Sit. Down. Lena keeps going. Full tantrum. You're all against me. I'm their mother. He abandoned us. He's never paid a cent. Mark's lawyer quietly slides a stack of bank statements and Zelle receipts forward. The judge flips through them, his face going stony. Ms. Hernandez, these show consistent child support and additional expenses for the last 9 years. In less than 5 minutes, everything flips. The judge rules that Mark gets 50-50 custody, starting immediately with a review in 6 months. That may favor him if Lena continues to manipulate and emotionally abuse the children. Lena is ordered to enroll in co-parenting classes. Adam is advised very sternly that lying under oath is a crime. We walk out in a daze. In the hallway, Adam tries to start another tantrum. This is all your fault, he spits at Ellie. You ruined everything. Mom's gonna... Ellie cuts him off. She looks so small but so tired. I'd rather tell the truth than get your stupid car. She takes Mark's hand and says, Can I stay with you tonight? And just like that, the golden child realizes his performance didn't just fail. It cost him his audience. Story 4. My best friend Claire was the undisputed golden child of her family. Private schools, endless praise, whole personality built around being perfect. Her younger sister Nina was always in Claire's shadow. I loved Claire, but even I knew she could be spoiled. Claire's wedding was basically a coronation. Her parents paid for everything. Castle venue, live band, harpist, ice sculpture of the couple's initials. She was marrying Dan, a genuinely kind, quiet guy who worshipped the ground she walked on. Problem was, I knew Claire had cheated. More than once. She'd cry about how Dan is too safe and I'm young, I should have fun. Then hook up with some random from Tinder and swear she'd stop. 2 weeks before the wedding, I told her, You need to tell Dan, or call this off. She smiled and said, I'm not blowing up my life over a few mistakes. It's not like he'd ever find out. You wouldn't tell him. She was right. I didn't. Karma, however, had other plans. At the reception, after the speeches, the DJ announces, Time for a special slideshow put together by the family. We'd all sent in cute photos. Baby Claire, awkward brace-face Claire, prom queen Claire. The lights dim. The first few slides are normal, everyone awing and laughing. Then a photo pops up that I've never seen. Claire, very clearly in a hotel room, very clearly not wearing much, very clearly on top of a guy who is not Dan. The room goes silent. Next slide, Claire making out with the same guy in what looks like a bar bathroom mirror. Her face is unmistakable. The guy is tagged in the bottom corner with a little Instagram handle. The timestamp in the corner says, 3 months ago. The DJ stammers, I think there's been... Claire explodes. Turn that off. That's not part of it. Turn it off right now. She's screaming across the ballroom, tiara slightly crooked, face bright red. Guests are staring between the screen and Dan, whose jaw is hanging open. But the slideshow keeps going. Now it's a video. We hear Claire's voice, giggly and drunk, say, My fiancé could never handle me like this. And the guy laughs. Claire launches into a full tantrum. This is sabotage. Mom? Dad? Who did this? This isn't funny. Her father looks like he might throw up. Her mom is covering her mouth. The DJ is frantically mashing keys. Finally, the projector shuts off. Everyone looks at Dan. He doesn't shout. He doesn't cry. He just walks up to the microphone. Can we get the lights back on, please? The lights come up. Claire's mascara is streaking. She lunges for him. Baby, it's not what it looks like. Those are old. Someone edited. Dan holds up a hand. I checked the slideshow file earlier. It was on a USB labeled Claire and Dan Memories. He turns to the crowd. I didn't make it. Did anyone hear? From the back of the room, Nina stands up. I did. You could have heard a pin drop. She walks forward, calm as anything. I made the slideshow, but I only added what I found on the shared family iCloud. Claire forgot to turn off syncing. She looks straight at her sister. You've gotten away with everything your whole life because Mom and Dad cleaned it up. I thought Dan deserved the same level of honesty the rest of us had to live with. Claire screams, You little bitch! And actually lunges at Nina, grabbing her hair, in her wedding gown. In front of 150 people, security and family pull them apart. Claire keeps shrieking that Nina ruined her life, that everyone is overreacting, that it was just a mistake. Dan gently places his ring on the microphone stand. I'm not marrying someone who thinks I'm too stupid to notice, he says. Enjoy the castle. He walks out. Half the guests follow him. The band awkwardly stops mid-song. Claire sobs. clutching at her ruined hair and smeared makeup, screaming for her parents to fix this. Her mom finally says very quietly, "We can't fix this one." For the first time in her life, there's no one rushing in to save the golden child. Story 5. I've been friends with the Martinez family since high school. Their oldest, Lucas, was the golden child. Star athlete, future CEO. The son, their dad, Roberto, proudly called my legacy. The younger daughter, Anna, was the artsy one they joked would marry rich to survive. Roberto died of a heart attack at 58. The funeral was huge. The church was packed, standing room only. After the service, the family held a reception in the church hall. There was a microphone set up for people to share memories. Anna was sitting quietly in the corner, surrounded by her friends. Lucas was in the center of the room, receiving condolences like he was running for office. When it was time for eulogies, Roberto's lawyer showed up, looking uncomfortable but purposeful. He spoke to the priest, then to the widow, then stepped up to the mic. "I'm sorry to interrupt this solemn day," he said. But Roberto left some instructions to be carried out immediately following the funeral, with everyone present. Whispers. He pulls out a sealed envelope. He requested I read this out loud. Lucas strides up, putting an arm around his mother. "If this is about the will, we can do it later, man. This isn't the time." The lawyer looks at him. He was very specific. "And it's not just about the will." He unfolds the letter. "If you're hearing this, it means I'm gone, and you're probably mad at my lawyer. Don't shoot the messenger." There's a small ripple of laughter through tears. "First, I love my children more than anything. That's why I need to tell the truth now before secrets poison what's left of this family." I glance at Anna. She looks terrified. The lawyer continues, voice steady. "Lucas, my son, you were always the loudest, the brightest, the one who demanded the spotlight. I fed that, and I'm sorry." Everyone watches Lucas smirk faintly, soaking up the attention even now. 27 years ago, during a rough patch in our marriage, your mother and I briefly separated. When she found out she was pregnant, we got back together. I chose not to ask questions I didn't want answers to. The air gets sucked out of the room. Lucas shifts beside his mom. "What is this?" he whispers. The lawyer swallows and keeps reading. "Last year, my doctor suggested a full genetic workup for a heart condition. To check my kid's risk, we did DNA tests. The results showed that Anna is my biological child." Everyone's heads swivel toward Anna. She's shaking. Lucas is not. The room explodes. Gasps, sharp inhales, someone's plate crashing to the floor. Lucas's face crumples. "This is a joke. Tell them it's a joke." His mother is sobbing silently. The lawyer reads the next line, voice barely above a whisper now. "Lucas, I raised you, I loved you, I changed your diapers and taught you to ride a bike. You are my son in every way that matters. But the truth has legal and medical consequences, and it's wrong to hide it from you and Anna any longer." Lucas snaps. "Turn it off. I don't want to hear this. He can't do this to me now." He lunges for the paper, trying to rip it out of the lawyer's hands. People scramble to stop him. He's yelling, red-faced, "I am his legacy. Not her. Me." For years, that's exactly what Roberto had called him. My legacy. Anna stands up, tears streaming down her face. "Lucas, stop," she says softly. "You're hurting Mom." He whirls on her. "Oh, shut up, Miss Perfect Little Blood Daughter." The lawyer raises his voice over the chaos. "As for my estate, legally it doesn't change much. I've arranged for my assets to be split equally. But emotionally, I hope this allows Anna to finally understand she was never the backup plan. She was always mine. And Lucas, I hope you'll see that the man who stayed, cared, and chose you is more important than any DNA test." Lucas goes still. Equal split. No disinheritance. No punishment. He'd just had a meltdown about being the legacy in front of everyone, exposing exactly how he saw himself and his sister. Anna walks slowly to the mic. Her hands are shaking, but her voice is clear. "All my life I was the extra," she says. "The one who got hand-me-downs and jokes about needing a rich husband. I stopped asking for art camp because you told me it was wasting money." She looks at her brother. "I would have shared everything with you, even this. But you just made today all about you." Again, Lucas opens his mouth, then closes it. For once, no one rushes in to comfort him. Not even his mom. She's too busy clinging to Anna, whispering, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," over and over. In one afternoon, the golden child found out he was loved but not entitled, chosen but not owed, and that the sister he'd treated like a spare was the only one who carried their father's eyes, blood, and now, his name. Because later, Anna quietly told me, "I'm taking Dad's last name back. I think I finally earned it." Story 6. I work in marketing for a mid-sized skincare brand. Last year, we signed a huge deal with a lifestyle influencer, Hallie. She's her family's golden child. Massive following. Parents on every video talking about how she's always been special. Brother and sister treated like unpaid production assistants. The contract was for a charity collab. For every unit sold of our limited edition product, we'd donate to a kids' hospital. Very wholesome, very marketable. Launch week, we schedule a joint live stream on her channel. She's in full angel mode. Pastel sweater, soft lighting, little candle flickering. Guys, it just means so much to me to give back, she says, doing that fake cry voice. I've always been obsessed with charity. My whole family raised us that way, her mom comments in the chat. So proud of you, baby. Her younger brother mods the chat for free. Her younger sister is behind the camera. We're killing it. Sales are pouring in. My boss is in our office Slack, basically vibrating. Then Hallie decides to crank up the drama. And because I care so much, I'm not taking a dime from this collab. Every penny goes to the kids. My eyebrows go up so hard I'm surprised they stay on my face, because I negotiated her fee myself. It was not small. Comments go wild. OMG queen. Selfless icon. Angel on earth. She smiles beatifically and says, I'll even show my emails if brands ever try to lie about charity, like I'm totally transparent. My Slack pings nonstop with coworkers screaming, we get through the live stream. Right after, we jump on a private Zoom with Hallie, her mom, and my team to do a debrief and plan next posts. Hallie joins first, camera on, audio apparently off. She's ranting off screen at her siblings. Did you see that? They're losing their minds. I swear I am so good at this. Imagine how many suckers are going to buy that stupid cream now, her sister says quietly. You shouldn't lie about donating. That's messed up. I am donating, Hallie snaps. My time. Do you know how much my time is worth? And anyway, if the brand wants to look generous, they can cough up extra. That's their problem. She keeps going. Full golden child tantrum. I literally carried this collab. They're lucky I didn't ask for a bigger cut. I should invoice them, again, for that performance. Charity queen, please. Then my boss types in the Zoom chat. Hey, Hallie, your mic is on. She freezes. Hand goes to her mouth. Her eyes flick to the screen, seeing all of us, cameras on, staring. Her mom suddenly appears in the frame and hisses, just say you were joking. Cry. They eat that up. Hallie starts sobbing instantly. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I was obviously kidding. It's just how I cope. I'm like dark humor. You guys know me, I say, as calmly as possible. We recorded the call and the live stream, and your claim about not taking a dime is already being screen capped on Twitter. You can see the math hit her all at once. Contract clauses, brand image, her carefully curated angel persona. We'll need to issue a statement, my boss adds, clarifying that you were paid and that the company will be increasing the donation, solely funded by us. Hallie explodes again. You can't do that. You'll make me look bad. Mom, say something. Tell them I'll sue. Her mom starts to argue, but my boss just shares his screen. The contract, highlighting the morality clause in neon yellow. Per this section, he says, if you engage in deceptive practices around charity, we can terminate and disclose the reason. Instant karma. Her tantrum just nuked her paycheck, the collab, and her selfless image in one go. We ended the call with a mutual termination email drafted on screen. The brand took the hit, donated the full amount anyway, and quietly linked a clip of Hallie's unmuted moment in a few pointed PR replies. Her follower count? Let's just say the golden child finally found out what happens when the internet stops clapping. Story 7. Our neighborhood has an unofficial prince. Tyler, 23, still lives with his parents. They're the HOA power couple who built this subdivision and treat the rest of us like tenants. Tyler parks his giant lifted truck anywhere he wants, across sidewalks, in front of hydrants, blocking other people's driveways. His mom calls it boys being boys. My wife is 8 months pregnant. We have a tiny driveway and 2 cars. One night I pull into our street with groceries and a very miserable wife in the passenger seat, and Tyler's truck is dead center in front of our driveway, tailgate down, blasting music. No one inside. I ring their doorbell. His mom answers with that tight HOA smile. Hey, I say, could you have Tyler move his truck? My wife needs to get inside. She sighs dramatically. He's with friends. You can park on the street. There are no spots, and she can't walk that far. She shrugs. Not my problem. He'll move it when he gets back. Behind me, my wife lets out a pained noise. Contraction. I'm trying to stay calm. If he doesn't move it in 5 minutes, I'll have to call a tow. It's blocking our property line. The HOA mom's smile drops. If you tow my son's truck, you'll regret it. She slams the door. 10 minutes later, still no Tyler. My wife is actually timing contractions now. I call the non-emergency tow number our city allows for blocked driveways. Tow truck shows up. Miracle of miracles, a cop happens to be driving by and stops to supervise, in case things get heated. They're hooking up the truck when Tyler roars down the street in a second car, screeching to a halt. What the fuck are you doing to my truck? He sprints over, shoving his phone in my face, filming. Look at this psycho, calling cops instead of just walking an extra 10 feet. The officer steps between us. Sir, your vehicle is illegally blocking a driveway. Tyler goes full tantrum. My parents run this HOA. I can park wherever I want. Move your little Barbie car. Then he gets in the tow driver's face. If you scratch it, I'll sue your ass into... The cop calmly says, that's enough. Step back. Tyler keeps going, shouting about how my wife is faking it to get attention. Except, my wife chooses that exact moment to have her water break, loudly and dramatically, all over our front walk. Everyone freezes. The cop turns to Tyler. You just prevented a pregnant woman from getting to the hospital by blocking her driveway. Tyler's still filming, sputtering. It's not my fault she decided to explode on the sidewalk. The cop looks very, very done. License and registration. Tyler, genius that he is, refuses. Starts shouting about sovereign citizen nonsense he definitely learned from TikTok. Long story short, he gets cuffed for obstructing and disturbing the peace while his truck gets towed. His parents come sprinting out, shrieking that this is harassment, that the cop doesn't know who we are. Here's the savage karma. My wife and I had just installed a new doorbell cam the week before. It caught the whole interaction. The mom refusing to move the truck, Tyler's tantrum, his comments about my wife, faking it, everything. At the emergency HOA meeting, they tried to call to discipline me later. I just played the video on the big screen. The room went very, very quiet. The president, who is not Tyler's mom, although she acts like she is, cleared his throat and said, effective immediately, we're adding a rule about blocking driveways. Violations will result in fines and towing. And we'll be revisiting board positions at the end of the term. Tyler's mom snapped, you can't push us out, we built this place. A neighbor in the back murmured, yeah, and now we'd like to live in it. The vote to remove her from the board was nearly unanimous. Tyler still has his truck, but now, every time he parks slightly crooked, 3 different doorbell cams light up, and the tow company knows our street by heart. Story 8. I was a TA for a brutal upper-level statistics class. Our professor is respected, but his son, Noah, is infamous. Golden child of the department. Never waits in line, always gets extensions, somehow lands prestigious internships nobody else even hears about. Noah enrolled in our class mostly to pad his transcript. First 2 assignments? Mediocre. Sloppy math, late submissions. I graded them fairly. Then the midterm paper happens. A 15-page analysis using real data, worth 40% of the grade. Noah's paper lands in my inbox at 11:58 p.m., 2 minutes before the deadline. I open it expecting chaos, and it's flawless. Like suspiciously flawless. The writing style is completely different. The code is pristine. It even cites obscure sources a struggling undergrad would never touch. We use plagiarism detection software, but we also have a newer system that flags authorship inconsistency. I run Noah's paper through it, and the report is glowing red. It doesn't match his previous writing patterns. At all. Not even close. Department policy, soccer, automatic academic integrity review. But this is the professor's kid. I bring the report to my professor, hands sweating. He reads it, frowns, and says, I'm sure there's an explanation. Let's talk to him before we overreact. I'm expecting a quiet meeting in the office. Instead, the professor schedules a full integrity board hearing like we would for any other student. Faculty panel, recording, the whole thing. Noah struts in wearing AirPods, sets his iced coffee on the table, and leans back like he's at brunch. The chair of the panel explains the findings, shows the authorship inconsistency graphs. Noah rolls his eyes. Look, I'm just better under pressure, he says. Those first assignments were rushed. This one I actually tried. The chair taps a folder. We'll need you to replicate some of the work then. Just a small segment. The code in Appendix B, for example. They slide him a laptop with a blank environment. No Wi-Fi, no saved files. Noah laughs. What, you want a little performance? Fine. He starts typing. Stops. Looks around. What's the dataset name again? He asks. It's in your paper, the chair says. He stares at his hands. I don't remember every little thing off the top of my head. So check your methodology, someone suggests. I don't have it memorized, he snaps. Who even does that? This is a witch hunt because you're obsessed with me. The panel sits there, stone-faced. After 10 painful minutes of him clicking around, mistyping library names, and asking extremely basic questions, the chair gently says, "You wrote a custom function here that handles missing values. Could you recreate that?" "I already did," Noah whines. "Are you people deaf?" My professor, his father, has been sitting silently in the corner, looking older by the minute. Finally, the chair sighs and rolls out the big gun, the similarity index to an online freelance site known for selling academic work. They flip around a monitor, a listing from 6 weeks ago, titled 15-page stats analysis, tight deadline, bonus for A, need discrete. Attached is a sample of the exact same dataset and problem statement. User, Golden Future 98. Noah goes still. Then the tantrum hits. "This is entrapment. You can't spy on my accounts. Dad, say something." "This is insane," the chair says quietly. "We subpoenaed the site. They provided the chat logs. You sent them your syllabus." He turns to his dad. "You're really going to let them do this to me? It's just one assignment. You know I'm not like those other kids." For a long moment, no one speaks. Then my professor clears his throat. "Noah," he says, voice shaking, "you are like those other students. And that means you face the same consequences." You could see the world tilt for Noah. He starts crying, loud and ugly, insisting he'll lose his scholarship. He doesn't have one. That this will ruin his grad school chances. All true. All self-inflicted. The panel votes. Failure in the course and a note on his record. The kicker? His dad recuses himself from the final decision, and then steps down from the integrity committee permanently. Later, I hear him say to a colleague, "I should have stopped protecting him a long time ago." For once, the golden child's last-minute rescue never came. Just the cold, boring justice of a red graph and a blank screen. Story 9. In my mom's family, my aunt's oldest daughter, Maddie, is the golden child. She's the first grandkid, the gifted one, the one whose mediocre achievements get framed like Nobel Prizes. Her younger sister, Riley, is the scapegoat. More chill, less polished, constantly told she's difficult. For Maddie's 25th birthday, my aunt decided to throw an intimate family dinner. Translation: everyone bends over backwards to worship Maddie. A week ahead, our giant family group chat lights up with planning. Secretly, half of us cousins had put together something extra. A slideshow of old pics, a group gift, a camera she'd been eyeing, and we'd rehearsed a silly song to perform. It was cheesy, but Riley was excited. She'd organized most of it. The morning of the dinner, someone accidentally sends a message in the main chat, instead of the cousins-only one. "Remember to bring the projector for the surprise. R." They immediately delete it, but Maddie sees the notification preview. She goes off. In the family chat. In all caps. "Are you seriously planning something without asking me? You know I hate surprises. Why does everything have to be about you, Riley?" "This is my day," Riley responds. "It is about you. That's the point, Maddie." "No, it's about you trying to make yourself look good. Cancel whatever you're doing. I just want a nice, normal dinner without your cringe performances." Aunt immediately jumps in. "Riley, if your sister doesn't want it, respect her wishes." No one says anything for a minute. Then one of our cousins replies, "Got it. Surprise canceled." Another cousin. "Song canceled too." Another. "Guess I'll return the camera then." The chat goes quiet. That night at the restaurant, Maddie shows up dressed like she's walking a red carpet, expecting adoration. We all say happy birthday, hand her small individual gifts, nothing fancy, just normal stuff. And that's it. No slideshow, no song, no big moment. She keeps checking the door, like she's expecting someone to roll in a cake made of diamonds. After dessert, she finally snaps. "That's it?" she says, laughing this weird high laugh. "I know you guys are messing with me. Where's the real present?" My uncle shrugs. "We gave it to you already." She looks at Riley. "Where's your big cringe performance?" Riley sips her drink. "Oh, I canceled it. You told me to. Didn't want to make your day about me." The table shifts. You can feel everyone replaying the chat in their heads. Maddie starts to panic. "I was obviously joking. I thought you were planning something for yourself and pretending it was for me. You always do that." One cousin quietly pulls out his phone, opens the chat, and slides it across to my grandma, who is technologically challenged but not emotionally blind. She reads the all-caps rant. Her mouth presses into a thin line. "You yelled at your sister for trying to celebrate you," she says. "On your birthday. In front of the whole family." Maddie flails. "You're taking it out of context." Riley just shrugs. It's okay, Mads. You got what you wanted. A normal dinner. For the rest of the night, whenever Maddie tries to turn the conversation back to how special this birthday feels, it dies in seconds. On the way out, my grandma pulls Riley aside and says, very loudly, next year we'll do something big for your birthday. You deserve a fuss. The golden child got her wish. No cringe, no spectacle, no sister stealing her thunder. Just the quiet realization that when you tantrum hard enough, the crowd doesn't just stop doing what you hate. Sometimes they stop showing up at all. Story 10. My dad was his family's golden child. Youngest of 3, only boy. Grandpa calls him my miracle. My aunts call him our baby. When he started drinking too much because of stress, everyone said it was just a phase. When he crashed his car, Grandpa bought him a new one. When he missed my school events, they told me, he works so hard. Be grateful. My Aunt Lena, the oldest, was the designated responsible one. The nag. The one everyone rolled their eyes at when she said maybe we shouldn't, ignore the DUI. By the time I was 16, Dad's phase had turned into rehab. Court-ordered, after he drove drunk with me in the car and sideswiped a parked SUV. I wasn't hurt, but it scared the hell out of me. Family day at rehab is mandatory. We sit in a circle. Me, Dad, Grandpa, one aunt, and Lena. There's a therapist, too. Dad starts strong, like he's giving a TED talk about self-improvement. I've realized I drink because of all the pressure, he says. Everyone expects me to be perfect. Provider, son, father. It's a lot. Grandpa nods, teary. We put too much on you, mijo. We should have helped more. Lena stares at the ceiling. The therapist asks, how has your drinking affected your family? Dad sighs like he's so burdened. Sometimes I miss things. But I'm here now, right? I'm doing the work. He pats my knee. Tell them, kiddo. Tell them we're good. My throat tightens. We're trying. The therapist turns to me. What's something you wish your dad understood? This is my opening. I think about all the times I sat on the porch waiting for him to pick me up, about how he screamed at Lena when she tried to take his keys, about how Grandma cried but still gave him cash. I say quietly, I wish he understood that saying sorry doesn't reset everything to 0. Dad laughs nervously. You sound like your aunt. Grandpa mutters, don't be ungrateful. Your father's in treatment, show some support. Something in me snaps. I was in the car, I say, louder. He was so drunk he thought the mailbox was a cop. He told me to act normal while he threw up out the window. Grandpa waves his hand. He didn't mean to. He loves you, the therapist gently asks. How did that make you feel? Terrified, I say. And invisible. Because I knew everyone would tell me to forgive him. Again. Dad starts to get angry. So what? You want me to stay a screw-up forever? Is that it? Is that what you want, kid? Instant tantrum mode. He points at Lena. You're poisoning them against me. You've always been jealous. Lena laughs, but there's no humor. Jealous of what exactly? The mugshot? He jumps up. You don't get it. I've had expectations my whole life. Dad never asked you to take over the business. He asked me. Everyone counted on me. The therapist stands, calm. Please sit down. Dad keeps going, voice cracking. I make one mistake. Not one, I interrupt. Like hundreds. Room goes quiet. The therapist looks at me. What do you need from your father to feel safe? I stare at my hands. I need him to stop living at Grandpa's when he gets out, Grandpa gasps. Where else would he go? I swallow hard. We talked to Aunt Lena. She said I could stay with her if I wanted to. For a while. Dad's face twists. You'd rather live with your bitter aunt than your own father? After everything I've done for you? Like endangering her life? Lena cuts in. Cool everything. Dad turns his fury on her. You're turning my kid against me. The therapist steps in. Your child is expressing their needs. That's not being turned. That's autonomy. I look up, finally meeting Dad's eyes. I love you, but I don't feel safe with you yet. You keep saying you're doing this for me, but you're really doing it so people stop being mad. I'm allowed not to be ready. He opens his mouth to argue, to demand, to guilt trip. The golden child script. The therapist raises a hand. I need to be very clear. If you continue to react with anger when your child sets boundaries, we'll have to reconsider your visitation privileges. This environment must be safe for them, not just comfortable for you. And there it is. Instant karma. His tantrum doesn't just make him look bad. It threatens the one thing he thought he could lean on for pity points. Being a good dad trying his best. Grandpa starts to say, you can't keep a father from his child. I cut him off, voice shaking but steady. They can. If he keeps choosing himself over everyone else, they should. At the end of the session, everyone hugs awkwardly. Dad holds on to me too long. You're all I have, he whispers. Don't abandon me. I pull back. I'm not abandoning you. I'm choosing me. For once, on the ride home, I put my suitcase in Lena's car instead of Grandpa's. In the rearview mirror, I see Dad standing on the rehab steps, watching. For the first time in his life, being the golden child didn't get him rescued. It just left him standing there, empty-handed, while the nag drove his legacy away. Story 11. I'm a line cook at a family Italian place. The owner's son, Marco, is the golden child executive chef. He studied abroad for like 6 months and came back with a man bun and an accent that definitely wasn't there before. In reality, he mostly strolls through the kitchen, sprinkles microgreens on plates we already finished, and screams at servers for ruining his plating. His mom calls him our genius. We call him Garnish Boy. We get picked for a local food show where a famous chef comes in, revamps one dish, and does a mini competition between the staff's versions. Great exposure. Possible investment. Huge deal. Producer decides the challenge dish will be carbonara. Marco announces, nobody touch the pancetta. This is my dish. You guys can chop parsley or something. The celebrity chef, I'll call him Chef Leo, walks through the line, talking to each of us. When he gets to me, he tastes the family recipe I'm making for staff meal. His eyebrows go up. You make this? Yes, chef. Just lunch for us. He smiles. Run that exact plate for the competition. Don't change a thing. Marco overhears and immediately starts sulking. I'm the executive chef? Shouldn't we showcase my food? Chef Leo shrugs. Then make yours better. Competition time. Cameras everywhere. We each send out our carbonara. Blind tasting. Live commentary. Leo tries Marco's first. He chews for a long time. Interesting interpretation, he says politely. Little heavy on the cream? Marco launches into a monologue about deconstructing tradition. Then Leo tries mine. He actually closes his eyes. This tastes like someone's nonna made it. Balanced. Proper technique. Who cooked this? Producer points to me. Leo grins. You, my friend, are severely undertitled. The crew claps. Customers cheer. The owner beams, then glances at Marco, who looks like he's about to combust. When the cameras cut, Marco absolutely loses it. In front of the whole crew. This is rigged, he screams. You all sabotaged me. Sam, you stole my mies. Mom, tell them I'm the chef here. I should have been the focus, not some prep monkey. He grabs a pan and hurls it into the sink so hard it bounces. Sauce splatters all over the camera lens. The room goes dead quiet. Producer very calmly says, just to be clear, all of that is still being recorded. Marco keeps going, red-faced. Good. Show people what a joke this place is when they side with mediocrity. I break my back for this restaurant. Chef Leo holds up a hand. Enough. You talked more about your brand than your food. That's the problem. Owner tries to smooth it over. He's just passionate. Leo looks straight at him. No. He's dangerous in a kitchen. Throwing pans? Screaming at staff? On camera? That's a liability, not passion. Next week, the episode airs. But they quietly recut the narrative. It's no longer genius young chef runs family spot. It's nepotism run wild versus the hardworking crew holding the place together. They show Marco's tantrum in tasteful snippets. The shouting, the pan throw, the line, some prep monkey. Then they show me teaching the dishwasher how to plate when we got slammed, helping servers, calmly cooking. The savage part? At the end, Chef Leo looks into the camera and says, if any investors are watching, I'd put my money on Sam, assuming he's not still working here. 2 weeks later, I wasn't. I was in Leo's new urban bistro, in a jacket with my own name on it. Marco? His parents temporarily stepped him back from kitchen duties while they rebrand. The sign out front no longer says Marco's, just the family last name. The crown came off the logo and everything. Story 12. Our varsity basketball team lived in the shadow of one person, Ryan, the coach's son. He was good, don't get me wrong, but the myth around him was legendary. Once-in-a-generation talent, born with a ball in his hand, etc. I'm Malik, starting guard number 2. If Ryan sneezed, we all got blamed for giving him a cold. Regional semifinals. Packed gym, college scouts in the stands, local news filming. This is the game. First half, Ryan is on fire. Crowd chanting his name. Coach is beaming. Third quarter, other team figures him out. They double-team Ryan hard. He starts forcing shots, ignoring passes, screaming at us to get open, while he dribbles into 3 defenders. Ref finally calls him on a charge. Obvious. Textbook. Ryan slams the ball so hard it bounces above the backboard. You're blind, he screams at the ref. He was inside the circle, you dinosaur. Tech foul. Other team gets free throws. Coach tries to pull him aside. Cool it, Rye. We need you in. Ryan shrugs him off. Maybe if you taught these losers to box out, I wouldn't have to do everything. I feel my jaw clench. On the next possession, ref calls him on a reach. It was borderline, but he already has 3 fouls and a tech. Ryan flips. He rips off his jersey, throws it on the floor, and gets in the ref's face. You just want me out because I'm better than your own kid. Everyone knows you're a washed-up PE teacher with a whistle. Silence. Then, second tech. Automatic ejection. Crowd gasps. Our cheer block literally deflates. Ryan screams, "You can't do that. This is my game," and kicks a Gatorade cooler. Water everywhere. Players slipping. Cameras catching every second. What he apparently forgot? That washed-up PE teacher ref. He's also head of the regional officiating board. And he does post-game reports. Coach looks like he's aged 10 years in 10 seconds. He turns to the bench. Malik, your running point. Devin, you're in for Ryan. I'm shaking, but not from fear. Adrenaline, maybe. Or rage. We huddle up. Coach says, low, play team ball. Scouts or no scouts, this is bigger now. We actually start winning. With the ball shared, the offense opens up. I drive and dish. Devin hits corner threes. Our center finally gets to work inside. We tie it up in the final minute. With 10 seconds left, I get fouled on a layup. 2 shots. Game on my hands. I glance at the bleachers where Ryan is now sitting, back in a hoodie, trying to argue with someone from the athletic department about appealing the ejection. I sink both. We win by 2. Locker room is chaos. Happy chaos. Coach comes in, eyes red. Proud of you. All of you. Later, I hear what happened in the hallway. The ref filed a report. Because of the level of abuse and physical aggression, the State Athletic Association slapped Ryan with a multi-game suspension for unsportsmanlike conduct and referee harassment. Since he's a senior, that means the rest of the season. Also, one of the scouts in the stands recorded his tantrum. Word got back to the college that had been eyeing him. They ghosted. But here's the twist. That same scout finds Coach after the game and says, "We'll pass on your son. But not your 11? We'd like to talk scholarship." Then your 11 was me. I signed with a decent D2 school a few weeks later. Ryan still tells people politics ruined his career. I know the truth. It was a tantrum and a waterlogged Gatorade cooler.